This segment of Labatt Buffalo Main Event is brought to you by
Kaz Electronics, your gadget source with referral rewards.
We are back on Labatt Buffalo Main Event. Brad Ryder along with Bob Gaughan, and joining us today as our guest in his 10th year as the men's basketball coach at Niagara University, Joe Mahalik, and off to a great start this year, 10 wins already out of 13, and a big one coming up this week.
Yeah, we do have a big one. We're playing pretty well, but I think the best thing about our team, as we talked about the other night, is we think we can get better, and we have to if we're going to continue to win.
Talk to us about the importance you're playing on ESPNU against Siena Friday, 9 o'clock, the importance of being on ESPN.
Well, you know, it's a national game. It's a nationally televised game, and I'm so happy for our program and for our kids that everybody gets to see us, and they get to see the Gallagher Center, which we're also pretty proud of. It's a big game for this early in the year. I mean, it's still just January, 10th or 11th, and it's a big game, but you can't ignore that. I mean, we're the two teams that so far have had the most success in this early stage of the season, and two teams that have great battles in the past, and we can't help but get excited about this game Friday night.
Is that a positive or a negative when you think about the wide audience? Obviously, I would think it's good for the university as a recruiting tool down the road, but for the kids, to get the kids ready for the game, good or bad for you?
Well, you know, I'm going to say good. We're having a lot of fun. Our guys are just, they can't wait to get to practice. We can't wait to get to practice. We can't get them out of the gym. You know, when you're having fun and you're passionate about what you do and throw a little bit of talent in there, you can have some success. And our guys, I think it's nothing but good for us.
We love Karan Fisher, Brett and I, because not only is he leading the nation in scoring, but he doesn't look like he's missed a meal in a while. I mean, come on. Why would we not love Karan Fisher? Talk to us about him.
He's a regular guy. He really is a regular-looking guy, isn't he? You know, hey, I've said it publicly, and I've said it privately. He takes a lot of shots. He takes some bad shots. We all know that. But he is fearless. And this is my 30th year overall of coaching. He's the most competitive guy I've ever been around. And I say it all the time, like Sharon Fisher, Tyrone Lewis, they're the guys that can score. You know, if they take one that's not a great one, they might still make it. And you'd rather have that guy that wants to shoot the ball taking it as opposed to the guy that's a little, you know, not sure about taking it.
You work with 3-4 guards, a smallish lineup. Talk about what sort of problem. I mean, you recruited these guys, so did you build your team with that in mind, or do you wake up at the beginning of the season and say, this is what we're doing and this is how we're going to play this year?
I think more the latter than the former. But when the season started to unfold, it became clear that we needed Stanley Hodge on the floor. We needed Tyrone Lewis on the floor. And our freshman point guard's terrific. Anthony Nelson, he's 14th in the country in assists. He's had some incredible games. At St. John's, he gets like 8 assists and no turnovers, 12 points. He's the reason we won that game. We need those 3 guys on the floor. Throw in the fact that Sharon Fisher, who's a tad portly, and still only about 6'4", he's our 4-man. Well, we're a small team, but you know, it's a good team.
Talk to us about, you've had some historic wins this year. First of all, winning in St. John's, first time you had done at Alumni Arena for 24 years. You won a tournament out in Santa Clara. Talk about the importance of just those historic wins for winning a tournament and winning at St. John's.
Well, they really weren't just another win. I mean, to beat St. John's on their floor, it's a Big East win. It's a special win for us. And you throw in the fact that the Vincentian priests run St. John's and run Niagara. You know, Mead Hall is where our priests live. I think it was a happy night at Mead Hall for all the priests, and we were happy for them. And then we won the Cable Car Classic. We love tournaments because it's like a mini season. You know, you have 4 teams out there. You play one game, then the next night you're playing for a championship. So, you know, at the beginning of March, we're hoping that we can be playing for a championship in our conference tournament. So it was great to do that. And the Cable Car is a prestigious tournament. 41 years. It's the longest running tournament in the country.
Not to jump too far ahead, but let's talk briefly about next year before we get into some more about this year. Rob Garrison coming in, local talent. How important is that, and how do you do it? How do you keep local guys here?
Well, you know, every once in a while we do think about next year. We're not thinking about next year right now.
Just for a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. We're so excited to get the right guy here. I mean, when you recruit a local guy, he better be a good player because you want him to play. Because the people sitting back up in those stands are going to be like, hey, put the local guy in. So it's great to have him. He is a wonderful person. I mean, he's a better player. He's a better person off the floor than on. And he's pretty darn good on the floor. But we're excited about having him. We actually have another transfer sitting out too, a guy named Bilal Ben who transferred from Villanova. So Rob's going to really help us. You know, we lose Stanley Hodge. We lose Sharon Fisher. You know, logic says, well, there's Rob Garrison and Bilal Ben.
You've won 14 straight games in the MAC. So talk to us about how important it is to keep that winning streak going on.
We really just take them one at a time. We know that streak could end just like that. And if it does or when it does, we're just going to pick right up and get back going again because it's a very competitive league. And anybody in our league can beat anybody else, and we know that.
Tell us about the Siena team that you're matching up with on Friday.
I'd say a little more depth than us, probably more balanced team than us. I mean, Friday night, it's early in the season, but it should be a great, great night for college basketball on Friday night at the Gallagher Center.
You played with a great innovator, Paul Westhead. Give me an innovation, something you would like to see, something that maybe isn't tried in maybe basketball right now that you think might be something for the future. Is there any innovation that you could see coming in this game, like maybe shooting all threes or something like that? Anything different?
Well, I'll tell you something that he did do. You're not going to believe this, but that he did do, and it was right after I left. He really wanted a fast break. And if anybody, and that was before there was a shot clock, if anybody were to hold the ball and try to slow the game down, he would send somebody all the way down the floor and leave 4 guys on defense. He did that. He did that. And that's when people thought he was a little goofy. But, you know, if you know him, you love him. And I was really lucky to play for him. So I don't know that we'll be doing that.
But is that style, but the style of play, does that help recruiting, you feel? I mean, your style of play, that fast break and stuff like that?
I think so for this reason. It's fun to coach, even more fun to play, and maybe even the most fun to watch. So you throw those 3 things together, and it's been good.
Well, we'll be watching on ESPNU. That's Friday night, Niagara taking on Siena. Thanks to Joe Mahalik for joining us. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap things up with our final commentary. The word I was looking for, commentary. On Labatt, Buffalo Main Event.
It's so normal to feel this overwhelming pressure to just have to do it all. We understand what that's like. Bristol Home and Bristol Village and any other residence that's out there will tell you we see it every day in and day out. Families come in, and usually it's at that point where they say, we just don't know what to do anymore. So think about it, don't feel as though you're alone, and ask for help. Early intervention is key. Planning ahead is key.
Bristol Home and Bristol Village, assisted living where family matters.